talk about brainstorming. What is a brainstorming and why should we do it before coding? Hello everyone, this is Ali Raza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. Today we will talk about the process of brainstorming your ideas for modding. Now, what is brainstorming? Brainstorming means that you will write your ideas on a paper or a piece of software as fast as you can without slowing your mind thought process down. Doing it will have a very great benefit. With doing brainstorming, you will let your brain to wander around the idea and the main idea and add anything that is possible or you like to see and have in your process. To do that, you have different applications that can help you. Of course, you can take a piece of paper and a pen and write them down. But these days, everything is possible with computers. To do brainstorming, there are different applications. Some of them, like Miro, is online. And Miro is free. So if you like to work with online applications, Miro is a good way to go. Now, when you use Miro, you will have a piece of canvas that you can write anything on it. But using templates, you can use different types of brainstorming. For example, you can develop a sitemap or a timeline or a diagram and flowcharts and sticky notes, or you can use mind map. Now, mind map is the thing that we will use today, so don't worry. A few minutes later, you will learn how to do it. Flowcharts and streamline diagrams will help you write down the logical process of a piece of code before writing the code yourself. Beside Miro that is online, we have different applications that can be used as installed application on your PC. The most well-known one is Novamind. However, I don't like Novamind for different reasons. The main reason is that it's a payment fee per month. And this is a screenshot of your Novamind application. As you can see, this is a mind map with nodes, but Novamind will let you to draw some graphical stuff on the canvas. They may look nice, but in reality, they are very limited in usage. The other thing that I don't like about Novamind is that it's a little bit slow compared to other applications. Now, draw.io, and you can put draw.io as the address and you use the online version of it. However, if you go with drawio.com or if you search draw.io application, you will see this weblog post and you have a desktop application that you can get and install on your operating system. Draw.io is nice to put flowcharts on the canvas or entity connections on the canvas. Entity connections are nice when you want to show the diagram of your object-oriented programming and how different objects are connected to each other. My choice of application is SimpleMind. Now, SimpleMind has a free version, and if you come down and use the free version, you will see that the free version is just for mobile applications, so Android and iOS. For desktop applications, if I choose Windows, you will see that you will have to pay a fee, but this is one time only. Between Novamind and SimpleMind, I prefer SimpleMind because I will pay once and I will use it for the rest of my life. And this is how SimpleMind looks like. SimpleMind will let you have different styles, but before that, you need to create a canvas. If you come to File, New Mind Map, you will notice that, well, you have the mind map, you have the timeline, but there are two to-do lists. One is a simple to-do list for one task. The other one is more complex to-do list that has different projects and different things. You can have meeting planners, smart planner, week planner, month planner, flowchart, and organogram for your organization. Thinking about it, I personally think that there is no way that you want to do something like this and SimpleMind can't do it. So our choice of application is SimpleMind. And the way I start is with using mind map. So let's hit OK. It will ask you to put down your mind map somewhere on your hard drive. I'm doing it on my second monitor right now. It will open a mind map for you and you will see a template. Okay, so Everything here is doable in Simple Mind. The central node here is the main concept. For example, we can just simply put our name of the mod here. So everything that is branched off is about our mod. Now, before going forward, let's stop here and let's talk about what is a good mod idea, because when you want to write a mod, you should be aware of what you are going to do in a long time. There are three different reasons that you may want to write a mod. One condition is that you had seen a mod in a previous versions of Minecraft and the mod is dead. The developer is not adding the new versions and he dropped developing the mod and you want to play with it. The second reason is that you may want to have different ideas from different mods combined to each other and have them in one place. For example, let's say that you liked how Applied Energetics was handling the inventory. However, you don't like the usage of energy system there. Well, that was for Forge. You are going to have it in Fabric. There is a mod for that out there. If we come to mod rinth and we search for simple, hitting enter, and by the way, limiting our search to Fabric, the second thing that comes up is Tom's simple storage mod. Take a look at that mod. In the pictures, we see that somehow he is implementing something close to Applied Energetics. You have terminals, you have pipes, and if you go and take a look at these videos, they show you that you can have filters, you have crafting terminal, you have inventory terminal. It's almost like Applied Energetics without the usage of energy, and it's for Fabric. The mod is already out there. Why would you reinvent the wheel? That's a question that you may want to ask yourself. There are two possible outcomes of the answering this question. The first one is that I don't like how he implemented the stuff and I want to re-implement it because I think I can implement it in such a way that it works faster and it will be not as heavy as the previous mod. Okay, that's an acceptable answer there. The second reason is that, well, I want to add this or that feature to the mod. If the answer is the second one, the best way to do it is to pull down the repository of that mod, going into the source, and it's a GitHub source for sure. Most of the time they are GitHub. So you will pull down using this link and something like GitKraken or any other Git application. You will add your features and you will ask for a pull request. Basically, you are contributing to the same mod without developing a new mod. So you will contribute to this mod and tell the mod loader that, hey, I added this feature, please accept my pull request. And if your feature is a needed one and is a good one, most of the time, mod developers are really open to pull requests. So if you don't know how to do a pull request on GitHub, there are tons of videos out there to do it. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. However, looking at this situation here, I see that this GitHub is actually a little bit unorthodox, meaning that, for example, for Fabric, he has different sub repositories for each version of Minecraft. And this is the main mod. Okay, so this is unorthodox, but we can deal with it. However, there are times that the mod developer will not accept it. That is when you have to sit back and think, do you really need that feature? If the answer is yes, then go for the modding and do your own mod. But you should not ever come back and copy paste all the code from this guy and just, add your stuff and call it a new mod. No, you have to write your own code from scratch. Another reason that you may want to have a mod is that there is this idea that you have and no one ever done it. For example, I had seen a guy that came into the Discord chat room of Fabric developers and told that, hey, I have this neat idea that whenever a player is walking on grass, after some time, when he passes through that grass, the grass will be changed, okay? And it will become a path. No one ever done it. Okay, you can do it. However, here is a big question that you should ask yourself. Is it worth it? What does it mean? Well, answering this question needs to answer two different questions. First of all, how many people will download and play that mod? Maybe you want to play it yourself, then so be it. No matter how many people downloads it, you want to play it, you create it. The second question that you should ask yourself, is it a good practice code-wise? Now, diving into this example, many people ask, is it doable? Yes, it's doable. Anything is doable when it comes to programming. However, when I think about this example, I know that, hey, grass is a block. Block has no extra data on it. So how do I track how many times a player passed through that grass? I can't inject something like walking count, okay? It's not doable because it's a block. It's not a block entity. And we will talk about them later down the road. So don't worry if you don't understand it right now. Long story short, you have to sit back and write your own system for tracking how many times a player walk on a single block. And you have to store this data somewhere on the hard drive, and you have to read that data time and time each time a player set foot on a single grass block. Thinking about it, just this spawning area of Minecraft is about 26, if I'm wrong, I will correct it later, 20-something chunks by 20-something chunks. It's more than 400 chunks. Now, doing a little calculation and math here, 400 chunks means 16 by 16 block dimension. So we are talking about 102,000 blocks at the surface. Now, let's say only, 25% of these blocks are grass. We are dealing with 25,000 entries for checking. Now, we are just adding an integer combined with the block pose for these 25,000 blocks. An integer is a 64 bits of info. So we are multiplying it by 32. An integer is 32. And then this is just how many times a player walked on it. Then we have the block pose. And each block pose is a float. Again, let's say it's 32 bits. So we are using 4 different 32 bits of data. One is the count, 3 for the block pose. So multiplied by 4. This is the number of bits of data that you are storing on a hard drive. We are dividing it by 8, so it will become 409,000 bytes of data. Dividing it by 1024, it becomes 400 kilobytes of data. That's not much. However, each time a player sets foot on a grass, you have to loop through this much data to see if that block is in the list. If it is there, then you need to do processing, the counting, and everything else. If it's not there, you will add up. And remember, this is just the spawn chunk. And we all know that players wander around the world, so it can easily be, 1,000 times bigger. So that becomes 400,000 kilobytes. Dividing it by 1024, it becomes 390 megabytes of data. Now, this is not a small data for a game like Minecraft and a single mod. And remember, we are talking about a single player. Now, in multiplayer, the amount of data is not changed, but the number of times you loop through these data is changed server side. So let's say that we have 10 players on the server. We have to loop through 390 megabytes of data 10 times a tick. And that's a lot. Is it worth it? No. And that is how you will understand that, hey, this idea is not a good one to implement. No matter how simple or complex the programming aspect is, the idea itself is not worth it. And that is how you will sit back and think for a few minutes and maybe 10 minutes, and you say that, hey, you know what? This is not the mod I want to write. Okay, let's say that you found a very old mod that is not being updated. You asked for permissions, or you found a mod on Forge and you want to port it to Fabric. You got the permissions, or you have an idea that you want to play with it and it's not implemented, or you want to collect some aspects of few mods and combine them to each other and get done with it. So you found your main concept and you are now answering that, hey, yes, it's a good idea to write this mod. This is the time that you will start brainstorming. So you will start with the name of the mod, and you can easily use these things. Now, the three dots, if you open, gives you a menu for copy paste and stuff like that. We don't use that. The T is just to write a note on this node. So for example, this is the mod name, okay? And you see that there is a dot here, and if you put your mouse on that, it says mod name. Then there is this arrow and it says word wrap. So it shows you that, hey, if your word is breaking down, you can make this one bigger or smaller or stuff like that. The main thing here is this plus. If I hit the plus, I open a branch. In mind mapping, the branches, the main branches that are extending from the central node is the main topics. Don't worry if something is not coming to your mind here. Let your mind wander around. So for example, I want to talk about mechanics of this game, of this mod. Okay, that's the very first node. So I will come and select the central node, either hitting this plus or hit tab, and I will get a new branch. So for example, I want to have items. That's good. Then I will come back with arrow keys to the center and again, tab blocks. Okay. And here is something that I want to work with. Okay, this is the very first, maybe the mind map idea that I have. For mechanics, for example, I want to have conduits. Coming back, I may have, let's say, ore processing. Then I will have another one for, I don't know, backpack. So as you see, they are not arranging themselves. That's okay. You can just drag them around. However, immediately I notice something's wrong. Backpack is not a game mechanics. It's an item. So I will move backpack to items. But how to do that? Move it to the items so that the items it's highlighted, release the mouse, and backpack is now part of the items. And this is the nice thing about mind mapping. You don't need to be sure exactly on what you're doing. Just go with the flow. Okay, so for machines, I have conduits, I have ore processing, maybe I have, I don't know, some armors, and then I will have some potions, maybe I have some fluids, why not? And then I noticed that, hey, first of all, I may not like how it's being drawn. Second of all, it's always bothering me with interpenetrating each other. So I may come back to styles, style sheet, and choose a style that I like. If I hit on these three dots and I go into the layout, I see that we have a radial layout. Spacing is default, division is automatic, equal angle or automatic, I don't know. Let's hit OK, and you see that suddenly it is organizing itself. However, you may not like this style, then you can choose anything that you want and it will work. Freeform means that you need to move things around yourself, but horizontal layout. And that's what I really like. I normally put my styling as horizontal. So you can go with vertical layout. It is like this. The more you process, it will put the bigger ones on horizontal lines and align subnodes vertically. But I personally prefer the horizontal layout. You may use list layout, and that's how you will work, okay? However, You can play with them, top-down layout or linear layout. As I said, my personal preference is either radial layout or horizontal layout. Now that I have my layout, I have my styling, I can just save it with Control S, and then I can sit back and think about how am I processing this? Don't worry if something is not coming into your mind right now and you want to have them later, because that's the beauty of mind maps. You can add anything later down the road. Let's get rid of this text. I don't want that. It was just a simple explanation and demonstration. Right now, I notice that armors is just part of items. That's it. Potions is part of armors. But for game mechanics, I have something else like effects. Okay. Now, thinking about this, I may want to add that storage system. Why did I add it? I told you that there was a mod out there that is doing it. However, thinking about the concepts that I have in mind, for example, having something close to Ender IO in Fabric, I want to implement my storage system because I want to use the conduits that I provide, and maybe I will change the whole mechanics there. Or processing, fluids, effects, storage system, and then I will come back to these, and I think that, hey, right now I don't have any more ideas here. So for ore processing, I have an idea. Is it energy based? So it's energy based, okay? But at the same time, I want something else, and that is a smelter. And again, thinking about Ender IO, we have alloy smelter, whatever you call it. As you see, I'm moving back and forth from these. For example, I have item conduits, I have fluid conduits, and I have energy conduits. Suddenly, I remember that inside blocks, I forgot something. I want block entities, and I may add mobs, so I will have entities. Inside blocks, I will have my own ender chest. It's different from the normal ender chests, and actually, I want to change it, so I will double click, and it's not ender chest, it's actually a shulker box. Now, this shulker box will have fluid storage, and it will have bigger inventory, okay? So as you see, I'm moving back and forth between these, and I will add whatever I want. For example, inside items, I will have gems, and in here, I will have ruby, I will have sapphire, I will have citrine, and for armors, I will have ruby, I will have sapphire, I will have citrine, I will have another one, and it's copper. Inside items now, I will have tools, and what else do I have as items? I have ingredients, okay? This is the very first pass of my thinking. So I will have custom swords, shovels, hoe, axe, pickaxe, and then I will have hammers. Now, hammers will dig in square shape, okay? So it will be 3 by 3 by 1, or 3 by 3 by 3, or 3 by 3 by 5, and one extra one special one is 5 by 5 by 5. So you see that I'm mapping what I want, what I have an ideas in there. Now, inside ingredients, I have ingots, I have gear, I have bars, I have plates, I have reinforced plates. And you may notice that, hey, Ender IO didn't have them. Yes. And by the way, scroll your middle mouse button and you will zoom. Left mouse click and drag, and you will move things around. So you may say that, hey, Ender IO didn't have these. Yeah, it didn't. So what? This is my mod. I'm free to add whatever I want. Here I will have, I don't know, dusts and nuggets. Anything else? If I remember, bars, handles. Okay. One of the mechanics that I want to have is replace vanilla recipes. Let's sit back and think. Anything else that I want? Armors, potions, gems, tools. Now, inside block entities, I will have, I don't know, energetic furnace. I will have alloy smelter. I will have gem cleaner. I will have smeltery. I will have stagnant. I will have, what do I want to name this one? Solar panels. Why not? And as you see, this will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And now you may notice that, hey, horizontal layout is not nice for me. Okay, let's try vertical and see how that will look. Ugly. Definitely not what I want. Then radial. Now radial looks a little bit nicer because it is setting my UIO at the center and it's branching off. However, you may notice that now near the armors, we have this arrow. If I click the arrow, you will notice that it will close and compress the branches of that arrow. Okay, so for example, let's go level by level, and this is your main branch. Okay, so doing it this way, when you are processing your mod, you are not lost. You know that, hey, I want to have this mechanics, or I want to have this item or that item, because down the road, when you go into coding, you may completely forget a very special thing that you need to have. Now think about ingredients, for example, and I may want to add a little bit organization here. Now I want to put it like main materials, and then I want to have something called, I don't know, what should I name it? Material use, whatever. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you should know what you're doing, and that's all you need to have here. It's your brain, it's your map. Okay, so for example, now in main materials, I can have enderite, and then I may want to have some stuff ported from Ender IO here. There is nothing wrong with that. So I don't know. For example, I want conductive alloy. Another thing that comes from Ender IO is dark steel, for example. Then again, copper alloy. Why not? The next one is endless steel, energetic alloy, redstone alloy, redstone alloy, solarium, and vibrant alloy. Why not? Now you notice that I separated the concept of different ingredients and the base alloys and ingots that I'm using here. And I will use all of these to make these. For example, I will have enderite ingot, conductive alloy ingot, dark steel ingot, copper alloy ingot, endless steel ingot, energetic alloy ingot, redstone alloy ingot, solarium alloy ingot, vibrant alloy ingot. Then I will go for gears, and I will have gears for all of these, so on and so forth. Okay, so now thinking about this, where is that gem? Because I had gems. Now I want to move the gems into main materials. So as you see, just by dragging and dropping, I'm just changing the layout of my brain mapping. Okay, so I have armor, backpack, potions, swords, shovels. These are tools. Okay, and then I will have the rest. So far, so good. So this is my mind map right now. And we will come back to this mind map and add stuff as we go forward, because, for example, inside items, I have things that are not fitting inside any one of these right now. For example, I don't know, capacitors. Okay, these are not materials. These are not it's not tools, and I don't know where to put that right now. So I will just add MISC. Okay, because I don't want to forget anything. I have a way of adding them later into proper position. So I will just add them there. I will not forget them. For example, filters. But using it this way, it means that somehow I have it in my mind map. I didn't organize them right now, but down the road, I can organize them later. Something else that I may want to add is inside items, I will add doors, I will add trapdoors, and stuff like that. And you notice that you may want to say, hey, put the trapdoors, doors, and stuff like that, or levers somewhere inside a main node. And I can do that. I can put, what should I call it? Functional blocks, okay? Functional item blocks, for example. And then I will drag and drop them there. So as you see, I'm mapping my mind right now, however it is, okay? And I may decide that, hey, you know what? These were not items, but they were blocks. And where's my blocks? I don't have, yeah, that's there. So I will drag and drop it here. As simple as that. And again, I'm organizing my mind. So this is the process of mind mapping and brainstorming. And doing it is really critical because you may forget something, but doing it this way, you will notice that, hey, I did add this or that, and I forgot to add this or that. And down the road, you will not get lost. Every now and then, you will come back to this mind map and add stuff here and there and move stuff from one branch to another branch. Don't hesitate on doing it. Now, this has nothing to do with your code, but it's everything you need to have a global general look at your own code and your project in total. So for example, something that I forgot right now inside items is inside tools, for example, is a teleporter, okay? And I will call it, yeah, teleporter. And inside here, I will have one for player and I will have one for entities. So as you see, I'm moving forward and put more and more into this stuff. Now, inside styling, you may not like how it is looking because one branch and everything under that branch is the same color. Now, this is what we chose, okay? We can choose this. So each main branch is one color, the children is one color, and so on and so forth. Or we can use this one is just the looks. And as you see, it looks like no matter what I choose, the branches is following the main color of the main node. So what if I want to change the color of this guy? Then I do it. If I go into the style, there is this color and I can choose it to whatever I want and hit OK. And from now on, this is a new color. For example, I want to change the tools to be something, I don't know, like this color. And you notice that all the branches under that node is now changed the color. So for example, main material, I again want to change the color there. Material usage, I will change the color there. As I go forward, I can help myself with changing the colors of these nodes and just, have a better mind map for myself that is suiting my brain. Remember, this is all about your brain processing stuff. Sit back, put time and effort inside coloring, inside styling, inside changing the names, because you have to keep this thing around for the rest of your mod life cycle. Okay? For example, the conduits, I will put it like, I don't know, this greenish color. And ore processing, I will change the color. So don't hesitate to do that. It's all about your own brain and mapping your own brain. So have fun doing it. And this is the very first step of processing your brainstorm. Now, when you had done all of this, you have two options. For example, if I want to have reinforced plates work as a to-do list, I can come back here and I will mark this checkbox. And you see that it's toggle check the state, checkbox on check, progress, and that's it. Okay, so let's add something under ingots. So we know that all of these will have ingots. So I will add enderite, conductive alloy, dark steel, copper alloy, and the steel, energetic alloy, redstone alloy, solarium alloy, vibrant alloy, and finally I will add the gems, so ruby, sapphire, and citrine. So now I have all the ingots and gems that I want to create. Now, arguably, these are not ingots. Let's change the color of ingots to something else. I don't know. Why not that? Now, if I add checkboxes, toggle check state, you see that I can check it, okay? Or I can change it to be a progress bar of 0%, or funny enough, 60%. And you see the progress bar working, okay? So I will go with 0, and then on each one of them, I will make a toggle checkbox. So this one now is a to-do list, basically. So instead of adding a separate mind map for to-do list, I can sit back and do every single one of them, and that will work. And you see that we have a short key for control space. If I click it and control space it, it will work. So it's a faster way. Now I can close it and remove that extra space being used. But when I'm working on ingots, each time I'm adding an ingot, I will come back and change this one and change the progress. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say that they are 10. So if I do the ender right, I know that in the progress, I'm on 10%. So that's that. This will become 20%. If I check mark this, it will become 30%, and so on and so forth. So yes, you can use a separate to-do list. However, using it in the brainstorming section, you may say that, okay, I know that when I'm looking at this guy, it's now finished. So I have all the ingots that I want. And again, not all of them will be checkboxes and progresses, because main materials, for example, are just the list of the things that you want to add, okay? Not all sections of this brain map is progress stuff. However, if you want to add stuff to that and you want to make a section as progress bar, then be it. As simple as that, I'm changing all of these to be progress bars. And as again, I'm telling you, sit back, put time and effort inside in changing all of these properly, so that in long run, you know what you're dealing with and how you're dealing with something, okay? Now, one last thing. For example, let's talk about ore processing, okay? Maybe, in long run, you come back and say, hey, beside these blocks, I want to have a new block. So you will just add it. However, sometimes for one branch, you start to add to-do list. That is why I said you will come back to this brainstorming software and this brainstorming tree and manipulate it every now and then. For example, I can center on the selected element, and now I can just add things on gem cleaner. For example, on gem cleaner, I may want to have a raw ruby to ruby gem, okay? And that's one thing to add here. And again, this will work as we go forward. So every now and then you will see that I will come back to this mind map and I will add stuff here and there. Now, if you want to follow this tutorial series, you may want to add this map yourself on the piece of platform that you are using for your own mod mapping. Again, Miro is a free way to go as online product. So you can roll back and watch the video and add each section. And as I go forward, I will show you if I changed something here and there, or in some brainstorming videos, I will come back here and start working on my mind map again, and you can follow those videos. Don't forget, in long run, this thing will save you. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.